With another well, this is gonna be a case study actually, the second one we're doing, and we're doing it again with this guy right here, Dravic, because he's been nice enough to send in another game. This time he's gonna be playing a Terrorblade, a jungling Terrorblade even. I've been looking forward to getting into those a little bit, looking at what that's all about. And it's gonna be a ranked all-pick game, so I get to explain to you a little bit about what this format's about and how you get through this picking stage in a sensible way. So I'm gonna speed this part up a little bit, just so we don't have to sit through all of it. But basically, the teams, you get 35 seconds to decide, kind of talk with your team about what kind of lanes you want to do. Typically, people just call out what they want to do, like I want carry or I want mid, and then you just kind of settle onto lanes. So it's a little bit easier than normal all pick to get less fucked up lanes. That's basically it. And because there's a picking order, you get less people just pausing. Well, you can't just pause afterwards and pick after and counter pick like that, because that will now result in gold loss. So the opposing side to Dravic starts out with a silencer. Now silencer is really good, especially against heroes that have mana problems, like say a Rave King or a Tide Hunter can have mana problems. If the heroes that typically want to go for a refresher or have these big ultimates, strength heroes that like to cast spells basically. Sand King also not the best against silencer. If he ends up stealing a lot of int from them, that could be really good. LC is really good nuker in lanes. Tide Hunter also doesn't like that to be. If he's like safe laning against the silencer, it's also pretty bad. Am I not? No, I'm not. Why am I not?
Crystal Maiden.
Omni Knight.
Why are my keys not working? That is Okay, so basically the Dravic's team picks up a Crystal Maiden. That's a fairly unusual pick these days at the high MMRs. But it's pop. Anything's viable. Pretty much a support. Omni Knight's gone up in stock recently. Being able to prevent your team from losing fights is really good. Clockwork, really good single target disable. And here we go. So let's take this point as an example. Let's say you are at this point. You're the next guy to pick on this team. What do? Well, you know what your team has. You have 2 cores. You have 1 support. You probably need a hard carry actually. These 2 guys aren't really much in the hard carry department, which is a problem. Silencer is probably the best hard carry that's been picked so far. If he can get farm or be like Brewmaster isn't bad. Bloodseeker, the new Bloodseeker, I'm not certain about. But at this point, it looks like you need a hard carry and a support, basically. Possibly, if he's going a jungling Terrorblade, they could do like just a laning Brewmaster and Bloodseeker and pick an off laner as well. Go greedy like that. The opposing team is very gank heavy with an Assassin and a Clockwork. That's actually, I think, a pretty good point to not going Terrorblade. These guys are pretty good at defending against him. Omni Knight, not the biggest problem for Terrorblade. Terrorblade fights buildings as much as fights heroes, and Omni Knight's pretty much a really team fight oriented hero, super team fight oriented hero. So, and also another big laning presence, which is really good for Terrorblade. He doesn't like to get shut down early, Terrorblade, though he can recuperate from it quite easily. So, but at this point, you kind of have to look at the enemy heroes and what your team has, and kind of figure out, okay, what am I doing? Talk with the last guys to pick. How are we laning this? And yeah, that's basically what I wanted to bring up here. That's how you should go about it. So Dravic picks up the Terrorblade. That should kind of clue the opposing team in. This is probably going to be some split push. That's what Terrorblade really excels at. Not really a team fighting carry as much. He's much more along the lines of a Naga, except he can actually bring down towers very efficiently. Even if you get him shut down. There we have a Viper for the enemy team, rounding it out with a very mid-game oriented team. I think they're very reliant on the silencer snowballing to win this thing, and a Beastmaster for Dravic's team. Now we're loading in. Take a look at Dravic's point of view here.
Prepare for battle.
And once we just see starting items, yeah. So this is the starting item build for Terrorblade. Is basically you go for a lot of 2 Rave bands, I believe, and build those on. That's kind of what you do. It's a bit unusual in that you don't buy any regen because you're having this illusion here, the conjure image thing, tank for you. So it only has half your life, but still that's 250 life at level 1. It's not bad. And it is of course very efficient to have a jungler on your team. If you don't get punished for it, it's really good. You can't shut down the enemy that well, but they don't really have any big snowballers. Like there's probably the ones I would be most afraid of is the silencer and the the Viper. If Clockwork gets a lot of kills early on, he can be a problem, but he really shouldn't. Like, you have to mess up a lot. The one problem is that they don't have a ranged core to kind of lane up against this Clockwork. It could be a little bit dangerous with just one support in lane once the Clockwork gets an XP advantage, a level advantage. Since of course he is still single versus duo, he should be getting twice as much XP unless the support is very well. So he just goes into jungle and starts racking up the farm here. So we see he's doing the best out of his whole team already. There's the Metamorphosis, that's the other key to being able to jungle with this guy. Of course, you know, a ton of damage with this Metamorphosis. 2 minutes in, he's already cleared. He's clearing level 3 shortly. Yeah. That's level 3. I don't know if we can take this camp without having to go back. Maybe, no. Doesn't look like he can. Yeah. So, this might look very weird, but this is a pretty common technique at the slightly higher levels. It's very efficient to just die and respawn when you're only level 3, because it only takes you a few seconds. It's actually faster than going back, plus you don't have to wait to heal up. So, since he bought items beforehand, he didn't have any unreliable gold to lose, thus it becomes more efficient to do that. Quite interesting so far. And this whole thing is really about abusing this ability. I just want to go in and point out for a second. The Metamorphosis here, you get, it's a 40 duration state change form, kind of like Dragon Knight's ultimate, that he turns into a ranged. It's very much like Dragon Knight's ultimate, actually, now that I think about it. He turns into a ranged. His illusions become whatever state he's in at the time you cast it. So if you turn into a ranged, cast your conjure image, and then lose your Metamorphosis because it timed out, then the image will still be ranged. Or conversely, if you cast it before you cast Metamorphosis, then it will still be melee because you casted it outside of Metamorphosis. Yeah, it gets you 20 damage per level, so it scales really well. This is the one you should max first. People will normally say this is actually his ultimate, and they're right, it's super good. So I'm actually a little surprised it didn't go for a second level Metamorphosis, just because the bonus damage of 40 is kinda great. Yeah, I'm actually not sure if his illusions get that or not. I guess we could just click. So if we go outside, oh, forgot. There we are. I can actually use my keys now. There we are. Regeneration. 69 damage. Looks like they must be getting. And there's something about the number here is because you're not allowed to see actually which is the illusion. Then this number is actually just the same as it is on Dravic. So they just don't have the yeah. Oh, that wasn't what I meant to do. They just don't have the item bonuses. Oh, they have the stats, but they don't have the raw item bonus. So the 6 damage, the double time 3 damage from the wave bands, they don't get. They do get the stats. So the way you itemize this guy is, of course, heavy emphasis on stats, which is why he's getting all these wave bands. Because these 3 wave bands is giving me 18 agility, and you can see he has 32 naturally. So it's quite a big buff. It's 50% more damage for one basically. Plus it's also extra attack speed, so it's quite efficient. The one downside being that you can't build most of these into anything. You will have to get rid of them eventually. But we see this Terrorblade is doing very well, very efficient farming for a jungler.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Certainly at this level. I'm not entirely sure how viable this is at the higher levels, just because it will take the Terrorblade so long to get relevant. Also because the build is suboptimal. I have to wonder if there isn't a fairly obvious counter to this, aside from just warding the jungle. That's what you would do against an Enigma or something like that. His team is losing the lanes a little bit. They're behind 1 kill. But otherwise on farm they're doing very well. Only the Viper is getting a really easy lane. Where's the Viper? The Viper is down here. So yeah, the easy lane is doing very well. And now he's going for that Yasha, so just stacking up the agility. The really good thing about doing this build, and you can see he is skipping his ultimate Sunder just for extra levels of Metamorphosis. He just wants the damage potential in all these. Now, okay, this is important to know. Look at the state at the moment. He knows there's 3 down here. He's been paying attention to the minimap. Maybe he knows they just got a kill. Probably this Clockwork is back in base. And, you know, maybe he knows even that the Nux looks like he's trying to... Either he's just come from base or he's trying to get back to base because he's probably just spent his ultimate. So if Dravic's been paying attention, he knows very, very safe to go for this tower right now. There's very little probability that more than one hero will come for him. And really, if it's only one hero, aside from maybe the Clockwork, he should be fine at this point. So, since the Clockwork just died, probably can't be the Clockwork. And he's just going to use the massive damage from these illusions just to take a tier 1. And that's really what Terrorblade does.
Radiant's middle tower
A lot of
has
he,
fallen.
like in Dota 1, he was the brother of Anti-Mage. That isn't in the lore anymore, but he is very much akin to the Anti-Fawn. Instead of just farming, this guy just pushes towers relentlessly. Kind of like the old Phantom Lancer. He's kind of like
Radiant's bottom
V2
tower
in
is
this
under
meta.
attack.
He should look for the stack. Not gonna look for it, but he's gonna kill him in time and then block the camp, unfortunately.
Radiant's bottom
slight
tower
misstep
is
there.
under attack.
Not too big. He's had a really good impact on the game so far, and he is leading on a net worth, just having jungled and then gone and taken that tower because of decent map awareness. Really, you need no attention to do his jungling. Yeah. There he dragged back, I don't know if you saw that, but he dragged back one image because when you have three targets for the jungle creeps, they will use the ability, so he didn't want to get stunned, and therefore he kept one illusion
Dire's
back.
bottom tower is under attack.
Go. His team's actually caught up in kills despite him not being able to fight, which is really good. That's like the one thing that could really mess with him here is if his team doesn't have enough laning presence
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
to hang the enemies
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
without him, and they just got way too far behind. But it doesn't look like anyone is snowballing too
Dire's
wildly.
bot-
If we look at levels, just really quickly, it's pretty even. Like we have 2 heroes on each team on 8. And it's not very scary heroes on 8 on the other team, like Clockwork and the Nyx. I mean, Clockwork level 8 is a little bit scary, but I mean, he's gonna get relevant at some point. At these games, in this metagame, it always goes late, so Clockwork I would not be super afraid of. It's mostly like the Silencer and the Viper are way down, so this is way good for his team. Really, really, really good. Clockwork has 2 kills that you would expect. Clockwork really, really hard. Emphasis on those kills. The Bloodseeker start a ton for his team. That's not so good. That's less than ideal. And he indeed doesn't have anything. He's even going for that stupid 4-star build. I don't like to see that. But luckily, we have Dravic, and Dravic is doing really, really well. So
Bottom tower.
let's move on.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Lots of passive gameplay, much like the Meepo game I casted with him. He is very much, he doesn't shy away from doing these split pushing builds, and that's something, if you're like a 2k player or so, this playstyle is so good. it's so much better than you think. At least when you're not blocking from camps and stuff. Oh, he didn't. Okay, good. Now he's going for Boots of Travel straight off the bat here, so he's just going pretty much all in on this split pushing. He's not looking to team fight. Boots of Travel is a really bad idea. Team fighting, he just wants the
Dire's
global,
top tower is
being
under
able to
attack.
push, being able to punish them for not being able to defend all the towers. And we still only have one tower pushed in for them. There's a lot of gold to be recuperated by going for this. And even if they weren't,
Radiant's
like,
bottom
then,
tower
it
is
would still
under
be good
attack.
because then you could push the racks in. And you can just with a level 4 Metamorphosis. That's 80 damage plus. He's already at a 200 damage right click that triggers
Radiant's
his
bottom
Metamorphosis
tower has fallen.
at 12 minutes. That's pretty insane. And his attack speed's pretty good as well. It's at 0.76. This guy gets a really good right click. The thing is, he's only at 800 HP and 50 armor. Like, nukes mess up this guy a lot. Like, he does not like to get nuked down. Heroes like Skywrath in the current metagame is one of his big problems if we can land a pretty basic Skywrath combo, like with a Shadow Shaman or a Void. He's pretty much guaranteed to fall. Of course, there is the big haymaker here, the Sunder. You need to guarantee the kill on the Terrorblade. You need to not just let him come through. Now he's going for the Mana style, really, really good item on most illusion heroes, and indeed, as is the case on the Terrorblade. Now he's just using one illusion to split push one lane. He's actually microing his hero down here as well. That's a little odd. Now he's using triggered off his Metamorphosis. The Clockwork's here. He's not afraid of the Clockwork. This could be a mistake. Oh yeah, okay. He managed to trade there with the Clockwork. And the Clockwork died first, so that's good for his team. It's a very small change, but 800 XP going the way of the Terrorblade is still pretty decent. Though, yeah, the Clockwork is the one hero on the enemy team I would be afraid of. Once that's one thing I want to note. When we were there and we saw that the rocket flare from the Clockwork go in, I would back out at Terrorblade. I would not look to fight a Clockwork there, since he can pretty much, if you don't have a way to escape the cogs, Clockwork can probably kill you. At this point in the game, at least. And with this high an emphasis on agility,
Dire's
your main
middle
defense
tower
is the
under
armor.
attack.
So, you know, there's not a lot you can do when you get caught in the cogs and you just get all the damage from the battery assault. We'll see if anyone bothers to wait for the silencer. This is a pop game. People's manners are not great. So, we can use this to just take a little bit of an inventory. I go over to free cam so we don't have to watch the frantic movement there. We have a clockwork with blade mail, that's pretty good. That will definitely allow him to fight up against the Terrorblade at this point. The Nyx has got a little bit of item progression, but that's not a lot on this side. The force staff on the Bloodseeker is actually looking better now, just because he has it. And the Brewmaster going for arcane boost. That's a little odd, but that's probably because of the silence on the other team. As I mentioned, these strength heroes that like to cast spells like the Brewmaster really against the silencer really need to prioritize getting a little bit of mana. Same thing for the Beastmaster. I don't understand that they both, like the silencer was the first pick on the enemy team, probably a little bit of a mistake going those two heroes against that.
Bottom tower is under attack.
And now we see him just
Dire's
easily
top
taking a
tower
tier
is
2
under
here.
attack.
Maybe they'll try for a kill on
Dire's
this silencer. Yeah,
top
didn't think he was
tower
gonna get
is
that.
under- Radiant's bottom tower
See,
is under
not
attack.
a great fighter, the Terrorblade, but definitely a great pusher.
Radiant's bottom tower
No
has
problems at all
fallen.
taking this down this tower.
Dire's top tower is under
Go,
attack.
a little bit of jungling while he still has some metamorphosis. Easily taking down these camps now. No problem at all. He is farming like really well. Gold per minute. Let's just water this intelligently as well. He is way ahead of everyone else. So
Radiant's middle
he
tower
has died
is
twice
under
though.
attack.
Wait, he's died twice. Didn't even catch the second time, I think. Yeah, let me just here the Brewmaster dies. The Bloodseeker and the Crystal Maiden dies. There's the Beastmaster dies. Oh right, yes, I remember now. He killed himself on the creeps early on in the camp. That's the one. I was thinking like I missed the gank somehow. Taking it maybe a little bit too fast, even though it is just jungling most of the time. Not the most exhilarating stuff, but you know, it's a valid playstyle and it's one you, if anything, you wanna know how to play up against. And really, it's the failure of the enemy team to not be further ahead in terms of kills. Like you might say, oh, they're 5 ahead in kills, but that's not. At this point, it's not that much. We see the gold per minute is still firmly in favor of the Terrorblade. In my opinion, the clockwork should just be looking to shut down this Terrorblade. He still has a very good option of just killing the Terrorblade. If he can find the real one, land a hook shot, the Terrorblade should die. He can't, like, he only has 1100 HP. That's not a lot for 15 minutes, 20 minutes in the game. Clockwork does have a blade mail and level 4 battery assault. Battery assault deals a lot of damage. Yeah, we see a total of 1200 damage. So an entire battery assault will actually just kill the Terrorblade. Or nearly. He does have 25% resist, of course. Now he's got his mana style finished. These illusions will get the same bonuses that his normal illusions do. Because Terrorblade is already an illusion hero, probably he's got really good stats and builds really good items for illusions anyhow. Yeah, now before he pushed towers well before, now he's just silly. And this is of course a Terrorblade that has had a pretty good game. Like he's just had space to farm pretty much. So this is pretty ideal. But even if he's been shut down, just without even the mana style, but just the levels, he will still be pretty good at pushing. We see him not being greedy and not feeling pressured to do too much with his metamorphosis. Just pushes down a tower and goes farming the in-range jungle. That's fine. Like, you don't need to do anything more than that. Start switching out his Wraith Bands now with parts for the Skadi. Eye of Skadi. Really good. Again, these big stat items extremely good on illusion heroes. That's exactly why they're going for them. We do see his team is starting to really lose out on fights now. Because, because they're 4v5 and because the enemy has a scary mid-game team. Super scary. And honestly, I think they should just not be looking to fight so much and just give up towers. That's what I would do. They just can't fight that. And the price for losing against the silence is going to be pretty steep, just because they're losing 2 int every time they lose a hero on the silence or to the silencer. Starting to do some chip gems on the tier 3 there, managed to force out a fortify. That's pretty good. There's the clockwork. This is dangerous. Pseudo. Oh, I hope he's not looking to fight up against this clockwork. So. Yeah, he's just looking to get out of there, yeah. I think the Clockworks honestly is the one who really has the opening to put some pain on this Terrorblade. If he's just he should know he can fight the Terrorblade, unless he's just not very experienced against the hero. This hero is very squishy, like really squishy. Especially when you're going this build, you're not getting like you're getting 10 strength here, 10 strength there. It's not that tanky. Like imagine without these items, if he's had a worse start, then he's actually like 350, 400 HP lower, which is ridiculous. Like he's super low, super squishy. Or like a hard carry. There we go, that's the Skadi, and now this guy is... now he's not squishy anymore, now he's a problem.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Go, he starts to fight his first team fight, and we start to see how things go. Not very good, not very good. There we go, doesn't even get to use his thunder. So there, the Terrorblade doesn't look too scary. His team looks like they will actually get a kill on the Omni Knight, which, I mean, is decent, but that's about all they're gonna get. Maybe even losing the... nope. Yeah, oh, good play from the Clockwork there. Nice using those clogs to disrupt there. Brewmaster's pretty much dead. Whoa, nice blink, nice blink. Needs more though. What? Oh, Clockwork misses with the shot there. Oh, but it's gonna be enough. There we go, take out. So they lose 4. And the Bloodseeker is just probably farming up all other horrible items, yeah. 4 stuff into BKB. This guy has got nothing. Like he's just 25 minutes into the game. I don't think this guy is. This is not the build I would go. Bloodseeker. I can reveal that. I would go much more rightly going into. Yeah, but the Terrorblade's up now. He's got his boot of travel up. He will most likely go top here. We see him looking at it. He's just looking to push this last tier 2. And that's really where he should sign. I think going into that last team fight, he probably thought, I've got Skadi, I should be able to fight now. Well, yeah, the problem is he doesn't have any disables himself, and he's really vulnerable to disable if they can get the main one disabled. And they could, so... Despite him farming really well, he's, you know, not a team fighter. He's just not a team fighting hero.
Double damage.
Unless you have like super hard control and you need some DPS, and that's the only thing he can give you is DPS. Then, you know, that's about it. Just farming a little bit. Gonna go for an Ethereal Blade here. Oh, he's gonna change his mind on this one, I believe. Clockwork managed to get another ability kill, and they go in for a kill on the Clockwork. So that was a little risky. I'm not sure I like that. I think I would like a TP down to the bottom much more. Try for just pushing in this wave. There we go. Yeah. So pretty standard split pushing. Go where the other enemy heroes aren't, especially when you force a reaction like that, then you can pretty safely just go down here. Farm off their jungle, take farm away from them. Go, just push lanes in. Be annoying, force moves on their hand. It's pretty much the name of the game. And he's progressing steadily in farm.
Dire's structures are fortified.
But it's you know, it's deceptive just because if he tries to fight, team fight, he'll just lose because the enemies will just kill him, and you know, they have an Omni Knight, they can make everyone immune to all his damage. It's really bad. But honestly, it's the fact that the Clockwork and the Nyx aren't hunting him more. If the Clockworks and Nyx was just going, you know, the rest of the team are completely irrelevant. What do they really have? Like, the way, like, if you're sitting here thinking, how can you even deal with this? The way you deal with this is you have your Clockwork and your Nyx, both of those fantastic ganking heroes. You have those go for the Terrorblade. He's got no escape mechanism. The one thing he can do is just kind of sunder you, and that's it really. It's not super scary. It's got a bit of a cooldown. It had a bit of a cooldown on a level 1. Now it's kind of honestly a little bit late trying to go for him, but they've just been taking what they can get. And what they've been suppressing is this Yasha 4-star Black King Bar Bloodseeker, who's really not doing much. The Brewmaster's got more sensible items, but he's also not super scary. He's a bit stressed on mana. See how much? 22 end on the silence. That's pretty good. Pretty good. He's 6 and 2. Yeah, he's doing pretty well. And of course, there's the Beastmaster, who doesn't even have his blink yet. So they're just killing these heroes who are already doing like crap, and letting the Terrorblade guide the game. This Terrorblade is in such a good position. If only, you know, the only thing that could be better is the rest of his team is kind of in a bad position, but that's, you know, it's manageable. He's even got the Crystal Maiden aura for extra illusion spammage, which he doesn't even need now because he's got the fucking Skadi. 25 intelligence. kind of means you can cast a lot. Especially when it's just 50 mana spells. Cancels his jump there, didn't even see where he's going, probably bottom. But now the Clockwork is there, and he doesn't want to fight the Clockwork still. He could probably take on the Clockwork now just by virtue of having like 2k, 2k life, and the Sunder. And you know, being able to spread out the damage from battery assault over illusions is always nice, though they will fall relatively fast to it. He's buying the small part of the Eagle Song now just to get it bought. I think that's a small mistake. Now he's wondering if he should go into this team fight. He decides not to. And just put pressure on this tower. There's 10 seconds until he can do to travel out. This is a bit of a precarious situation.
Radiant structures are
Honestly,
fortified.
maybe have liked to see him. Okay, Clockwork decides to hookshot that just to see if the real one was there. So turns out to be a good decision to go back. They trade, end up just trading supports there.
Killing spree. For the twins.
Now he's got his butterfly here, or his first butterfly I should say. Dravic really likes to stack up items. He sent me a Meeper replay where he just stacked up Ethereal Blades, and now this game he's gonna go for just stacking up these butterflies. And he's just doing the same thing, kind of the Naga thing. If you notice, he's moving around jungling here, and sending illusions out to take various lanes. Now he goes in, goes crazy, his damage. The enemy's coming one at a time, and he's still kind of in a tough spot. So, despite, I want to just stress it, because it's important that you understand this is how the hero's balanced. He's at nearly twice the net worth, or he's doing very, very well compared to everyone else in the game. And I mean, he is not. He's at 300 health. He's just fought up against 2 of them, or maybe he's fought up against more. But let's just look at this fight a little bit more in depth. So, okay, we are a bit into it here. Let's just remove that. Here we are. He's gonna TP in now. So he's gonna TP in up here. He thinks probably he can push a tower down here. He's got Metamorphosis up. He's gonna drop the Metamorphosis, get his Manta Illusions up. And he's doing tons of damage, but here comes the Nyx. He gets the Viper. Viper even just throws him a BKB. Go. He even uses his Sunder there. He would have actually died to the Nyx pretty easy if he didn't do that. Now the Nyx is gonna fall. And now the Silencer comes in. But you know, even though they come in kind of like in 2s and 3s, and even though he's got this big of an item lead, Terrorblade, he's still kind of getting his ass beat. Let's see if he actually takes a spill here. Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. They're gonna get the crystal rate though. Yeah. He's gonna turn it actually. He's doing a lot of damage. There we are. Clockwork dies. So okay, but the point still stands. Like any other carry that's ahead 10,000 of the enemy team is gonna do better than this, pretty much. Like, this is not what Terrorblade's meant to do. He got a little bit lucky there. If they had focused him a little bit more intelligently, he would have done worse. He was probably hoping to just push down a tower and found himself in a team fight, to be honest. So, even with this massive lead, like, the Terrorblade is just not super good at these team fights. Like, he's good at applying damage, but when there's no one to tank for him, he is not happy. Not a happy camper at all. Like, and you know, when the enemy can just focus him, he's really good. Like, if he can't get the Sunder off as well, he would have just died there. He's only at 300 health point now. But now he's to push. He's pretty happy about that. Of course, they don't have the...
has fallen.
Yeah, the enemy pretty much call it. But he's gonna play it safe. Doesn't want to get knocked down by a buyback. And he can pretty much start working on his second butterfly. Now, of course, he's got all the attack speed in the world, approaching 3 attacks a second. attacks are really good, like even without the metamorphosis, which honestly is just giving him a ranged attack now. Yeah. Oh, and it's also giving better base attacks time. I wonder what his base attack time is normally. I should check that. But it's gonna give him like a really good base attack time, basically. Which gives him better overall attack time, so he'll hit faster and from range. It's pretty much it, and plus 80 damage is still something. It's not nearly as much as it is early game, like right when you max this out, it's ridiculous. We'll see. The enemies can't really get... See, the enemies are still perfectly capable of taking on his team if the Terrorblade isn't there. And even with the Terrorblade there, it was kind of razor's edge before. Like, if the clockwork had gotten him or something, then, you know, he would have just been dead. If he hadn't got the Sun off. Like, it was pretty close. But now there's no one to stop him, he can just kind of send all his illusions in. It's just one TV, it's just the nukes. He could have honestly just forced that. But he's gonna get the tower anyway. Like, even without committing, he can still keep the tower. So that's, you know, it's unfortunate. They trade a tier 2 for 3 tier 3, he can just comfortably TP in and just kill the Viper. No repercussion whatsoever. The Viper kinda being abandoned by his teammates, desperate to not lose their Rex. So it's very hard to coordinate against split pushing like this in pops. It's definitely kind of, you know, kind of a bit of a trial, but you know, the thing with Terrorblade is you can count on him to do this. It's what he does. Like, you won't run into a team fighting Terrorblade or a ganking Terrorblade or something. It's a horrible hero for that. He will split push. It's like them drafting a Nature's Prophet, except the Nature's Prophet can actually fight. Like, there are actually builds out there that makes a fight in Nature's Prophet. But pretty much all Terrorblades go for these two items, Commander Style and Knives Guardi. He even went for it a little bit slower with the Boots of Travel first. We have yet more kills going to the enemy, but it doesn't matter because he can just take 2 Rex if they try to take one of theirs. And there's no hero they can send back alone to take care of Terrorblade. So even if they wanted to take care of Terrorblade, they're pretty much guaranteed to give kills to the enemy team. In which case, you know, the Brewmaster and the Bloodseeker might start to become actual influences in this game, which would be unfortunate for the enemy team. They are actually getting a little bit of item progression, but for 40 minutes still this isn't too good. Go, yeah, pretty decent, like.
Quick feet to match my temper.
He's gonna head towards his third butterfly now. He's got 3 attacks a second now, even without his ult. This is just a pain. Yeah, he's got no way to stop a TP though. Probably, if you're looking for something like this more standard than this. A little less tunnel vision-y on just, you know, split pushing, then, you know, a basher. When you have this much attack speed, a basher would be fantastic. Okay, really good. Just pushing out the lanes. At this point, he's just playing it safe. Doesn't wanna, you know, overcommit to anything. Pauses. It's just the silencer drops. Yeah. So probably a basher and then probably some sort of lifesteal. Lifesteal does stack with scatting, as I noted last video. As people were very keen to point out when I mistakenly said it didn't, even though I caught it right after. So yeah, no, basher and lifesteal instead of the last 2 butterflies would probably be what most people do. Yeah, but this is pretty reasonable still. I mean, he has a beastly attack time now. Actually died to clockwork there. Let's just see. That's just... yeah. He TP's in. I don't know why he's TPing in here, actually. That seems a little bit too optimistic. Nyx goes for him, does some not very significant damage, but does some hilarious effects here. Nyx stun hits him. Silencer's getting wrecked by the illusions, but he doesn't care. Omni Knight keeps the Silencer. Dive. Go. It's gonna get disarmed by the Silencer now. It's gonna be the Clockwork coming in. Clockwork over here. There we go. Let's look at the Clockwork. Yeah, he gets caught. Clocked. And the Clockwork still. Oh, and actually that was the Nyx. The Nyx's stake on 5 took him out there. So the enemies are still perfectly capable of killing him. I think TPing in right here. Pretty big mistake. Like, probably, you know, if you had like a Satanic and a Basher,
Could probably just do Roshan. I feel like that would be pretty good. Pretty good. So now this is kind of an opening for the enemy, if not for the fact that he still has a buyback, which kind of gives them a way to retaliate. In this case, just by taking a Rex, basically. Yeah, they have to go back now, try and defend.
Radiant structures are
He's
fortified.
actually not even interested in taking a Rex. He wants to take mid. Go. Doesn't even want to use Metamorphosis. He's still gonna get the Rex.
Radiant's top barracks has fallen.
Kind of ignoring the entire enemy team here. But notice how he just stopped them from pushing their Rex just by TPing down. Oh, the split push, and he's dead again. So, I mean, he took a tower and a Rex, and he's taking another Rex now just with a single illusion. This is getting a little bit ridiculous.
Radiant's middle barracks
Zero is
has
pretty
fallen.
absurd, guys. Of course, he does have like a lot of stats. Like, yeah, Nyx is not happy about this. Well, you are killing him. Like, you can see why the Terrorblade is playing careful, because he's perfectly mortal. Like, he's not a hard carry in the sense that he can just completely dominate team fights when he is this far ahead. He's more of a hard carry in the sense that he can push down buildings super freaking fast and farm really fast. You can't just kind of 1v1 him. It's very similar to Anti-Mage actually. That he's much more of a, well, Anti-Mage is more of a skirmisher and split pusher, and Terrorblade is very much a split pusher and slightly less of a skirmisher. And these days Anti-Mage also has a really good team fight ability in his mana break, but you know, Terrorblade doesn't have that. He just has Sunder, which isn't really gimmicky ability, and we see that if they have any kind of bursts, they can just prevent him using it. Now we should take a bit of revenge on this clockwork.
Radiant's middle barracks are under
Still,
attack.
the you know, oh yeah, BKB would also be sensible on it.
Be at peace, you wretched fool.
Go, just gonna Sunder to bring him up to full life.
Radiant's middle
That's actually a really good
barracks
use of
has
Sunder. I like that a lot. And now, because of course there are creeps on the high ground, they can use without backdooring, and even if they were backdooring, he can't, you know, he can't be stopped. Like he could easily kill it through backdooring right now. See the power of the Omni here? Literally, despite having a 400 damage right click at 3 attacks per second with tons of illusions, it does so much damage. Like the Omni Knight's still not dying. Go. Taking him a little bit to kill the Omni Knight, but still fine. Of course, one good thing about I want to mention with Butterfly is that it actually, you know, it works on illusions. You get the dodge does get transferred to the illusions. Go the Viper's damage there, and of course you can't dodge the corrosive skin. Kind of, you know.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
But now, game is pretty much over. Let us head to the end screen.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower, Radiant's ancient, is under attack.
Yeah. A little bit of the usual discussion about about whether or not split pushing and this kind of carrying is good for the game. It's always something that happens, oh well, frequently. And come on screen, there we are. So, despite you know, and this 12 kills, take into account that he just wiped their team. Basically deducts 5 for fountain camping here, and you have a Terrorblade that went 7, and he died in the fountain 7, 5, 2. That is not fantastic carry stats, especially 2 assists is pretty hilarious, I think. But you know, he definitely won this game for his team, and that's, you know, these 800 gold per minute is quite extreme, and that's just because they didn't do enough to shut him down. They had the tools for it, they had the nukes, they had the clockwork. We saw what happened every time he actually engaged those guys, and that was mostly to when he decided that he wanted to stay and engage. He got ganked once by the clockwork when in mid, like his first real death after, yeah, in the early game when he decided to push the tier 2 mid. That they should just have kept doing that, like especially the clockwork should just have kept doing that. And if they kept doing that, they would have had no trouble. Like, this Bloodseeker barely had anything here for the late game. He had a BKB and a Yasha. That's pretty much, and a Source and a 4-star for that stupid combo with the ult there, the Bloodseeker ult. I really don't like that item on him. It might have gotten a little better. I don't know how it works with the new Bloodseeker. I should be less willing to just jump to conclusions with it, but I'm pretty sure this is still pretty bad, and you should probably, like, just going straight for the Sanjin Yasha. I would like that more. It's probably a little better when you're against the Silencer. Again, this is I would discuss an agility, but you know, still not so much intelligence that you can just ignore the Silencer. And let's see how much. I kind of want to. I can't do that now. I kind of wanted to see how much the Silencer got stolen, but I can probably, you know, he probably got. Since he got. No, this only adds up to 11, and he had that before. Yeah, the Silencer still sold a bit of intelligence, so. Yeah, they were perfectly capable of stopping this Terrorblade, and the key to stopping the Terrorblade is just to, you know, gank him, have a good ganker. And they had 2 good gankers. They had a Nyx and a Clockwork. Both of those guys, the spec right, and they were pretty much, you know, really good items for it. They could just go and kill him. Like, at least, you know, these 2 would force him to get a BKB. Against the Nyx, a BKB might not even cut it, because he would probably be stunned, and just, if the Nyx can actually nuke him down, then, you know, that won't, the BKB won't do anything, aside from, you know, 200 health. But against the Clockwork, BKB will pretty much stop him killing you, but then you are forcing the Terrorblade into buying a BKB and using a charge to stop dying. You're still occupying him when you're cogging him and all that. So they should have just gone for the Terrorblade. You know, you're not slowballing. Kills on you as a ganker only matter if you can snowball. Like the Clockwork, getting kills is good in the early and mid game, because then the Clockwork gets up to higher levels, gets a few key items, but then they become, you know, you're not a carry, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. So maybe a little bit of a boring game, but you know, I think it's important to look at these split pusher games, these jungling games, just to examine why they work, why they were allowed to work, why winning the team fight isn't good enough every time. I hope you got something out of it. Yeah, as always, the instructions for sending in replays will be in the description for this video. My name has been Cerebellum. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.